Most Major League Baseball bettors waste time and miss out on consistent profits because they overlook these three critical markets that should be the foundation of your baseball betting strategy. It's taken me almost 4 years to figure this out and trim the fat. So in this video, I'm going to show you my exact system and the three markets that I specifically target, as I'm up almost $9,000 this year alone betting on baseball. I'm going to break down each market step by step, so by the end of this video you'll be able to implement this strategy today. The first market that we're going to focus on is pitcher strikeouts, but specifically alternate line pitcher strikeouts on FanDuel. FanDuel seemingly pays us out more than the rest of the sports betting market when it comes to alternate strikeouts. One of the most profitable sports bettors that I know, the Arb Father, this is a market that he bets on every single day. But finding these plays is going to be a different journey than we normally take. So let's hop into a few examples so that you know exactly what I target. The first thing that we're going to want to do is hop over to oddsjam.com, and I'm going to come over to sports, and I'm going to select MLB. As you can see, we have all the upcoming games teed up right here. Now, another little wrinkle that I love to add when I'm looking at alternate line pitcher strikeouts is I come over to a free website called teamrankings.com, and I'm looking at MLB team strikeouts per game. And so what we're looking at right here is the teams that strike out the most. So these, like the Padres, the Royals, the Blue Jays, they strike out the least amount in all of baseball. So all I'm going to do is click this so that we can see the teams that strike out the most in Major League Baseball. So we're going to want to focus on the Angels, the Rockies, the Red Sox, the Tigers, the Mariners. All of these teams strike out the most in Major League Baseball, and when we're going after alternate line pitcher strikeouts, we're going to want to focus on the pitchers that are going up against these lineups. And wouldn't you know it, as of recording, the Angels are taking on the Red Sox today. These are two teams that rank in the top 3 in baseball for striking out the most. So when we're looking at Kikuchi here for the Angels going up against the Red Sox, you can see that all the books have his main line at 5.5. This show alternate lines right here is going to show us all the alternate lines for his strikeouts. So when we get beyond the main line of 5.5, or we're looking at 6 or 6.5 or 7.5, what you're going to notice is that a couple of books that I lean on for pitcher strikeouts, like Pinnacle and Bookmaker, well, they don't have odds for these plays. So what you're going to notice here, like this over 7.5, FanDuel is paying us out way more money than the rest of the sports books that are offering odds for this play, meaning that a $10 wager over at DraftKings is going to pay us out $22.50. That same $10 wager is going to pay us out an extra $6 or $28.50. So over here on FanDuel, to find alternate line pitcher strikeouts, you just come over to pitcher props. And then what you're going to notice is the first line that pops up is the main line, but we're not interested in that. We're interested in the alternate strikeouts. In Kikuchi, to get over 7.5 strikeouts or 8+ strikeouts, this is what we're going to want to go after. Now, understand that this is more of a long shot type of play, so I'm only going to wager $100 into this market. I simply want to have a bit of a sprinkle, but again, we're targeting a team that is ranked in the top 3rd in the major leagues to strike out a lot, and we're finding incredible value on a sports book. Back over here at teamrankings.com, we can see that the Tigers rank in the top 4 in the majors in terms of striking out a lot. And so when we're looking at this Tigers-White Sox game right here, the idea behind this strategy, guys, is you're going to have to manually peruse these games one by one to find these plays, because a lot of sharp sports books don't have odds on this play. Now, in this example for Shane Smith, we actually do see for the over 5.5 that Pinnacle does have their odds set. And so when you come up here to the top and you click on the show no vig odds, remember, all these sports books charge some type of vig or juice into their odds. So removing the vig or juice from Pinnacle says that, well, the fair value is plus minus 131, meaning that if we wanted to bet the under 5.5, a sportsbook needs to offer odds below minus 131. And if we want to wager on the over 5.5, we need odds above plus 131. When we go back to viewing the normal odds from the sportsbooks with the VIG baked back in, you can see that no sportsbook is offering any type of odds that's under minus 131. So there isn't any value on the under 5.5. But we want to bet on the over because the Tigers strike out a lot. And as you can see, FanDuel's offering odds slightly above plus 131, so there is some EV value here. We're going after a team that strikes out the 4th most in Major League Baseball, and while the White Sox are not a particularly strong club, we are putting ourselves in advantageous positions finding value on the over with pitcher strikeouts. So again, with FanDuel, they believe that the main line should be at 4.5. We're interested in taking Shane Smith to get 6 strikeouts or more. And so because the odds are only plus 134 and that we do have a little extra value, I'm going to up the wager size for this play for $150. For my second favorite market that I love to attack, it's first half markets. And so the odds range that I love to go after is minus 150 to plus 125 and an EV percent of at least 2 or higher. Obviously, the sport that we have selected is baseball and the league is MLB. But for my markets, what I'm going to do is type in first half, and you can see I love to bet on first half total runs, first half money line, and then also the first half run line. This is the first 5 innings of the ball game that we're focused on. The date range is naturally going to be for today, and we're looking at Pinnacle as our sharp sports book, and worst case is our DVIG method. Out of all of these DVIG methods, this is the most conservative. When I say DVIG method, we're trying to figure out what the fair price is. That way we're able to determine, once we know what the fair price is compared to the odds we're receiving, are we receiving some type of value in the market? So we're using the OddsJam positive expected value tool. The objective of this tool was to search and scan all of the sports books that I have accounts with and then show us the handful of plays that we're receiving an incredible price on. So for the Padres versus the Giants, we need 5 runs or more scored in the ball game by the top of the 6th inning in order to cash this bet. Looking at some sharp books like Circa, Bookmaker, Pinnacle, and BetOnline, they all agree with their pricing on the over 4.5, somewhere between a minus 101 to minus 105. You can see over here at Caesars, we're simply getting paid out more than what we should. A $100 wager over on DraftKings pays us out $100. That same $100 wager over at Caesars pays us out $110. While that might not seem like much, that extra $10 is a really big deal when it comes to our bottom line. When it comes to the first 5 innings wager, guys, you're going to want to make sure that you're going to have to scroll over to the innings section. That's where these bets are going to live. You can see Caesars offers the first 3 innings, but we're not interested in that. It's the first 5 innings, and you can see the over 4.5 is at plus odds right here. Our run line or spread lives here. Our money line is right here. Remember, when you're betting on the money line, you have a bit of insurance baked in on this play, because if the score is tied going to the top of the 6th inning, this is deemed a push and you receive your money back. OddsJam is recommending that I wager $180, and I could not agree more, because of all my 4 sharp sports books are in agreement with this price. So I go ahead and pump in $180, click submit bet, and within a matter of seconds, we're going to lock in value. If you found value in the content thus far, make sure to hit that subscribe button, click that thumbs up button, and tap that bell notification so you don't miss the next video that we release. One of the reasons that sharp sports bettors love the first 5 innings market is because you can simply focus on the starting pitching matchups. You don't have to worry about the bullpens coming in and imploding your bet because they couldn't lock it down in the final innings. On the occasional bullpen day that some of these teams don't start an actual starting pitcher, they just use a lot of relievers, you want to avoid those games when that happens. But when you have 2 starters that are going up against each other, this is a great market to go after. Speaking of my hometown Pittsburgh Pirates, they're an absolute dumpster fire of a squad, but they do have a legitimate ace in Paul Skeens. So betting on the Pirates' first 5 innings money line when Skeens is on the mound, like I mentioned, if the game is tied going to the top of the 6th, this is deemed a push. But if you take the Pirates at minus 0.5, all they have to do is scrape together 1 or 2 runs by the top of the 6th inning, assuming that Skeens shuts down the opposition lineup within the first 5 innings. This is a great market that you can attack because, as I mentioned, you don't have to worry about substitutions or that late inning bullpen disaster when the closer just absolutely tosses up some beach balls and your team blows it. The final market that I've absolutely crushed so far this MLB season is player home runs. It's accounted for almost half of my profits, as I've made almost $3,500 betting into this market. Click this video right here that's going to dive into the entire strategy and touch on a couple of key points, because as the weather heats up, the ball's going to start flying, and you want to make sure that you know this strategy in and out so that you can execute it to perfection.